This is the Get Your Ass to Work podcast, episode number 32. Guys, today we're going to talk about the whole love yourself bullshit phenomenon that goes on all the talk shows and the magazines and the internet and everywhere you look. Everybody just wants you to feel good and comfortable and happy doing whatever it is the fuck that you're doing. So the problem with this mindset is that it creates delusion. The fucking issue is that I see this happen in real estate and the sales game all the time, is that people get comfortable, they stop pushing the envelope, they stop moving forward, they stop learning new shit, they stop progressing in their real estate sales game. And what happens? In a couple of years, not only do their sales stall, but they completely fall off and they end up out of the real estate game in just a few years because they get comfortable. And the problem with the mindset that people are always going to tell you to just slow down. They're going to tell you, hey, you're doing too much. You're overworking. You're putting in too many hours. How much money do you actually need to make? When are you going to be satisfied? Is the same mindset of all the people who are going to constantly tell you, oh, you just need to love yourself. It's okay that you're 100 pounds overweight. It's okay that you've had 5 divorces in 3 years. You just need to start loving who you are. And it is total fucking bullshit, guys. It's almost as damaging as the negative self-talk that many people have, and they talk to themselves all the time. People calling themselves idiot. They're like, you're not good. You can't do this shit. You talk yourself out of doing anything, out of moving stuff forward. I had this happen today. One of the people we work with in our office, we started asking them, hey, how would you like to start taking on some new responsibilities? How would you like to move forward? How would you like to make some more money? And their first response is, I don't think I can do that. I'm not sure I can actually learn this. And this person has a fucking master's degree, and I'm not going to really go into the conversation, but they have a master's degree and they're telling us that they can't do some fucking transaction coordinating work that a fucking 5th grader can learn how to do. And it's that negative self-talk, and it's holding themselves back, is almost as bad as the opposite end of what everybody is preaching, where it's slow down, you're doing enough, there's no reason you have to push yourself so hard. Guys, that mentality is going to make you average. And if you're happy being average, go for it. Stay there. No judgment here. If you want to be average, the problem is that so many people are average and they are in no fucking way happy with what they're doing. They want to make more money. They want to do more sales. They want a nicer house. They want a better car. They want to take better vacations. They want to provide more for their family. But everyone else is going to tell them that it's okay to be average, and they're going to go ahead and settle. Now, if you just have a job where you get paychecks, that might be okay. If you're in the sales game and you start being okay with being average, everyone else catches up to you, and sooner or later you're out of the job. You're out of the game. The real estate sales game is vicious. It'll fucking eat you alive if you're not constantly pushing harder and harder and going up the ladder. Now, this happens too in the private sector where people just work a normal job and they're not entrepreneurial. It just takes longer for that to happen. Eventually, people who were on top of the game in their 30s and 40s are out of a job and can't get hired by their 50s and 60s because they haven't progressed. They've done the same job day in, day out. They haven't learned any new skills, haven't read any new books, haven't learned how to do anything other than what they were trained to do 20 years ago, and they just kept repeating it at a satisfactory level that didn't get them promoted, but also didn't get them fired. And that's where I see many people stay for the remainder of their career. And what happens? They call me when they're in their mid-60s or early 70s, and they're like, I'm 2 mortgage payments behind. I'm living on Social Security. Can you sell my home? And so the mentality of staying average and not pushing the envelope, well, that's where I see a lot of those results happen. They just don't happen for 20 or 30 years. In real estate, it happens to you much faster because the competition is out there to fuck you up. They're out there to kick your ass. It just happens much sooner when you're in the entrepreneurial world and you're competing against other people who want to take the same business that you have, and they're going to be vicious about it. So, guys, the message is today, if you fall into that trap of listening to other people tell you that you're doing too much, and look, you might be on one end of the spectrum where you're so involved in just work that you are fucking off all your other responsibilities. That happens. But if you fall into the trap where you know you want to do more, but you're going to go ahead and listen to everybody tell you, you need to take more time for yourself. You need to take a vacation. Why are you working out so hard? You're making too much money. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? If you start listening to other people and you're going in that direction where you feel like you have done enough and it's okay to be average, but you want more, you're going to end up not being as happy as the same people who constantly down themselves and hold themselves back from getting that next promotion, from taking on any extra responsibility. People who are afraid to fail, who are afraid to be embarrassed because they fucked something up or they took on a new job and they weren't good at it, so they had to go back to their same job. You know, there's a lot of fear in people who don't want to move forward because they don't want to know what the result's going to be if it's going to be bad. They will only move forward if they know for 100% that they're going to be successful. Now, in the entrepreneurial world, it doesn't work like that. The sales game, it doesn't work like that. You better be failing every fucking day and falling flat on your face, or sooner rather than later, you're not going to be in that position anymore, and you're going to go back to working for somebody else full time. So if that's the position you want to be in, guys, no judgment. Continue to be average. Continue to not learn. Continue to not push shit forward. But if you're going to make more money and you want to do better things, you want to help more people, you're going to have to be willing to fail. And you're going to have to be willing to crash and burn, and you're going to have to be embarrassed. And people are going to talk shit. People are going to tell you all the wrong things you're doing more than anybody is ever going to praise you, and you're going to have to be okay with that. And I think that's all we've got for this episode. This is the Get Your Ass to Work podcast. This has been episode number 32. Guys, if you need to schedule a time, whether it's to talk about personal, private coaching or about the Reno real estate market, you can do so by contacting me at daniel.puz.work. danielpuz.work. That is a webpage that you can go ahead and schedule a 30-minute phone consultation if you guys have questions about coaching, real estate, business. Go to that website, and it would be a free coaching call. We're doing them Monday through Friday, 8 to 8. And we're going to try the weekends for now, and if it starts to add too many phone calls to the weekend, I'm going to go ahead and cut that shit off. But for now, we'll leave the weekends open, and we'll see you guys next week.